Hello, and welcome to today's webcast from the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality about understanding SOPS surveys, a quick primer for new users of the AHRQ's Surveys on Patient Safety Culture. My name is Naomi Yount, and I'll be serving as your moderator for this webcast. Before we begin, I just have a few standard housekeeping details. If you're having difficulty hearing the audio from your computer speakers, you can change the audio selection so that WebEx calls you back and connects to your phone instead. In the event that your computer freezes during the presentation, you can try logging out and logging back into the webcast to refresh the page. Remember, though, that you may be just experiencing a lag due to your internet connection speed. If you need help at any time during this webcast, use the Q&A icon that I'm going to show you on the next slide. Okay, at any point throughout today's presentation, if you have technical difficulties or have a question for our speakers, you may ask a question through the Q&A feature. Depending on the browser you're using, your WebEx screen may look slightly different from this slide. Look for the Q&A icon at the bottom right-hand side of your screen, and be sure that the drop-down option displays all panelists in order for our team to see it. Feel free to share your name, your organization, and or role when you type your question. Today's session is being recorded. A replay of today's webcast and the slides will be made available on the AHRQ website. So now that we have some housekeeping items out of the way, I'm very pleased to introduce my colleague, Laura Gray. Laura Gray is the SOPS project manager with over 10 years of experience providing project management support and technical assistance, developing survey products and resources, conducting promotional activities such as webcasts as today's, and participating in survey item development. As I mentioned earlier, I am Naomi Yount, and I'll be serving as your moderator. Our agenda for today's webcast includes providing an overview of the SOPS surveys and the SOPS databases, as well as providing information on resources available for SOPS users. We'll share the SOPS technical assistance information, as well as how to sign up for future SOPS updates. Lastly, we look forward to answering your questions. Without further ado, I'll pass things over to Laura.
Thanks so much, Naomi. So let's dive right into an overview of the SOPS surveys. So the AHRQ SOPS program began in 2001 and developed validated patient safety culture survey instruments using best methods for development and testing. In addition to the surveys, the SOPS program also conducts research to further our understanding of patient safety culture, including how to measure and improve it. So what is patient safety culture? It can be defined as the beliefs, values, and norms shared by healthcare providers and staff that support and promote patient safety within an organization. Patient safety culture determines behaviors that are rewarded, supported, expected, and accepted within an organization as it relates to patient safety. It's also important to note that culture exists at multiple levels, from the unit level within an organization to the department and organization or system level. So the SOPS surveys are for providers and staff to assess the extent to which their organizational culture supports patient safety. Version 1.0 of the Hospital Survey on Patient Safety Culture was released in 2004, and an updated version 2.0 was released in 2019. There are also 4 more SOPS surveys for nursing homes, medical offices, community pharmacies, and ambulatory surgery centers. So this slide here shows some areas of patient safety culture that are assessed across each of the SOPS surveys, although the survey items are tailored to be specific to each setting. The areas of patient safety culture, which are also called composite measures, assessed across the surveys include teamwork, communication openness, communication about error, organizational learning continuous improvement, response to error, staffing, supervisor management support for patient safety, work pressure and pace, and overall rating on patient safety. Each of the SOPS surveys also assess patient safety culture areas or composites that are unique. So here's our survey development process for all of the SOPS surveys. First, we conduct a review of the literature on patient safety, safety culture, and medical error and event reporting, and we gather existing surveys. We then identify and convene a technical expert panel, or TEP, with members representing various settings of care. We interview patient safety experts and healthcare providers and staff. Then, using all this information, we identify what the key areas of patient safety culture that the survey should assess, and we develop draft survey items. We cognitively test those survey items with healthcare providers and staff, and that helps us determine how well they understood and could respond to those questions. We iteratively revise and cognitively test the draft survey items. And then we, again, obtain some input from the TEP, and then pilot test the draft survey in the healthcare setting. We conduct psychometric analyses of the pilot test results to examine the reliability and the construct validity of the survey measures. As our last step, we consult with the TEP to finalize the survey. All of the SOPS survey items are composed of standardized questions. They're core items that support the comparability of survey content across users. There are also optional supplemental items that users may add to assess content in areas that are not included in the core survey. The cover pages for the supplemental items provide instructions about how to add the supplemental items toward the end of the core SOPS survey, which is right before the background question. So what supplemental item sets do we have for the SOPS survey? In 2017, AHRQ released value and efficiency supplemental items to help hospitals and medical offices assess the extent to which their organizational culture places a priority on and adopts practices to promote efficiency, waste reduction, patient-centeredness, and high-quality care. Released in 2018, the SOPS Health Information Technology, or Health IT, patient safety supplemental items assess how organizational culture influences health IT and patient safety. As you may know, health IT has enabled our healthcare system to become much safer in many ways. However, given healthcare's increasing reliance on information technology, it's also important for hospitals to understand the effects of health IT use on patient safety culture, including the unintended consequences of health IT. Given that improving diagnostic safety is one of AHRQ's emerging priorities, we are developing a new supplemental item set on diagnostic safety for the medical office SOPS survey. The goals for this item set are to measure the extent to which the organizational culture in medical offices supports effective diagnostic processes, including accurate and timely diagnoses and communicating diagnoses to patients. We're currently analyzing pilot test data from 69 medical offices, and we look forward to releasing the survey items in spring 2021. We are also pleased to share that development is underway on workplace safety supplemental items intended to measure the extent to which organizational culture supports the safety and well-being of providers and staff. We are currently cognitively testing these draft items in hospitals, nursing homes, ambulatory surgery centers, and medical offices. And then in 2021, we will be pilot testing it in hospitals. So if you're interested in the pilot test, please let us know. So now that I've told you a little bit about what SOPS surveys are available, let's talk about how they're used. Healthcare organizations can use the surveys to raise staff awareness about patient safety, assess the current status of patient safety culture, identify strengths and areas for improvement, evaluate trends in patient safety culture change over time, and evaluate the cultural impact of patient safety initiatives and interventions. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the SOPS databases. AHRQ supports SOPS databases for each of the 5 surveys. The databases intake data from facilities that have administered one of the SOPS surveys and voluntarily submit their survey data. The latest database reports released include data from 630 hospitals in 2018, 191 nursing homes in 2019, 1,475 medical offices in 2020, 331 community pharmacies in 2019, and 282 ambulatory surgery centers, or ASCs, in 2020. And a new hospital database report for 2021 will be coming soon in the spring. So why should your facilities participate in the SOPS database? First, facilities that submit to the database are part of the results produced in a database report with de-identified facility-level statistics. Second, participating organizations also receive a customized feedback report for each facility submitted comparing their results to the database. And these feedback reports will show your facility's results compared to the database, helping you identify strengths and areas for patient safety culture improvement. The feedback reports can easily be shared within your organization, and we do recommend that you share the results so that your leadership, department managers, and frontline staff understand the areas of strength and opportunities for improvement within your organization. So here's the SOPS data submission schedule through 2022. We strongly encourage ASCs and medical offices to participate in our databases in 2021. There is still time to administer the surveys and submit to the database. The database for the ASC survey will be open June 1 to 21, and the SOPS medical office database will be open September 1 to October 20. And the medical office database will be accepting data from the medical office survey as well as the two supplemental item sets, the value and efficiency and the diagnostic safety. In June 2022, we'll open up the SOPS hospital database, and in September 2022, we will open up the SOPS nursing home database. As noted at the schedule here, we do not have any upcoming plans for the SOPS community pharmacy database. We understand that there are some challenges in administering the survey, getting a good response rate, and then knowing what to do with the data. And we encourage you to contact our technical assistance help desk if you have any questions or would like further guidance. And I'll share that help desk information at the end of the slides here. To help get you ready for these upcoming databases, we do have a couple of webcasts upcoming that might be helpful to you. So first, January 21st, from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern, we will have a webcast dedicated to the SOPS ASC survey, and a link to register for that webcast will be on the AHRQ SOPS website in the coming weeks, or you can sign up for SOPS email updates on the AHRQ website, which I'll provide some instructions for at the end of this presentation as well. We also will plan to be hosting a webcast in the spring when the Diagnostic Safety supplemental items are released to tell you a little bit more about that item set and how you can administer it with the SOPS medical office survey and submit your data to the database this fall. And again, this fall, you can submit the medical office survey with the Diagnostic Safety supplemental items. So if you are thinking about participating in a SOPS database, I'll review with you here some of the general requirements for participation. More details and some other specific requirements for each of the survey settings can be found on the AHRQ website. So first, your organization must have administered the SOPS survey in its entirety without modifications or deletions. This ensures comparability across healthcare facilities when submitting to the SOPS databases. Second, you must be in the U.S. or U.S. territories. Third, sign a data use agreement that indicates how the data will be used, and it also protects the confidentiality of your organization. 4, complete data collection before the end of the data submission period. 5, submit your data files per the specifications. And 6, upload the survey data through a secure online data submission system. We have extensive support available for SOPS data submissions, so again, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. All right, now let's review some SOPS resources that are available. To support the SOPS surveys, AHRQ provides a variety of materials and resources available for download at www.ahrq.gov/SOPS. On the SOPS website, you can find the survey materials in English and Spanish, as well as some other resources that I'll highlight for you in the next few slides. So if you're just getting started with the SOPS surveys, a great starting place is to check out the Survey User's Guide. These guides will help you walk through any major decisions involved in conducting a SOPS survey and reporting the results. and there is a guide for each survey. The guides include information on getting started, selecting a sample, determining your data collection methods, and your procedures for web and paper-based surveys, including how to optimize your response rates, preparing and analyzing data, and producing reports. In addition to the user's guide, I wanted to quickly highlight that we also have a document called Transitioning to the SOPS Hospital Survey version 2.0, What's Different and What to Expect. This describes the differences between the Hospital Survey 1.0 and 2.0 and provides instructions on how to transition to the 2.0 version. After you've administered your SOPS survey, we have a data entry and analysis tool available that allows you to create tables and graphs of your survey results. It's a Microsoft Excel tool that you can use to enter your data, see your results, and even export the data file for submission to the SOPS databases. My colleague, Teresa Familera, recently gave a tutorial on how to use these tools, and a recording from that webcast will be available on the AHRQ website soon. So if you missed it, definitely check it out. It's a great way to learn more about how to use these tools. The data entry and analysis tools are the only resources not physically available for download on the AHRQ website, but you can contact our help desk to request them, and again, I'll share that information at the end. After you've administered your survey and you've analyzed your SOPS results, we have an action planning tool to assist you in developing an action plan based on your SOPS results to improve patient safety culture in your organization. This action planning tool is designed for all survey settings, and it provides step-by-step guidance to help survey users develop an action plan to improve patient safety culture. It includes an action plan template that your organization can use to identify your areas for improvement, to document those goals and your initiatives, document your needed resources, what your process and outcome measures will be, and the timeline. As you're working on your action plan and you're identifying areas for improvement, you might be interested in checking out our improvement resources. We have resources for each survey setting and supplemental item set. These documents on the AHRQ website contain links to practical resources that are free and publicly available to improve patient safety culture and patient safety. Also on the website, we have a SOPS bibliography, where we provide citations for published articles using the AHRQ SOPS surveys. And we just did an update to this in October. Users can browse or search more than 300 references about the patient safety culture surveys and supplemental items. Publications can be searched by healthcare setting or by topics, such as how to improve patient safety culture, analyses linking the survey to outcome data, analyses linking the survey composite measures with your site and/or respondent characteristics, psychometric analyses, as well as international studies. As I mentioned earlier, we have that upcoming webcast on the ASC survey and database scheduled for January 21. The recording, transcriptions, and slides for past webcasts are available on the AHRQ SOPS website. And the URL here, www.ahrq.gov/SOPS/events. And then again, the replay recording from that data entry and analysis tool, that webcast tutorial I mentioned earlier, that will also be forthcoming. Okay, last I wanted to share some info with you on technical assistance and how to stay in the loop on SOPS updates. I think I mentioned several times throughout the presentation, like, stay tuned, I'll share this information. So here we are. We offer free technical assistance, or TA, to the SOPS survey. Our general TA help desk can be reached at 1-888-324-9749 or via email, safetyculturesurveys@westat.com. And they can help you with questions on survey administration and connect you with any of the survey materials or supporting resources. In addition, international users should contact this help desk to request permission from AHRQ to use the survey internationally. And then the databases TA help desk can be reached at 1-888-324-9790 or databases on safety culture at westat.com. And they can send you the SOPS data entry and analysis tools that I mentioned, They can provide assistance on using those and help you with submitting to the various SOPS databases, answer questions about the database reports, and respond to any special analytic requests from the data included in the SOPS databases. We are truly happy to help you, so please don't ever hesitate to contact us. We periodically send email announcements about SOPS news, such as new webcasts, data submission timelines, and other products. And you can sign up for email updates from us by going to the AHRQ website and clicking in the right-hand corner and then choosing email updates associated with the surveys on patient safety culture. Back to you, Naomi.
Thanks, Laura. We're now going to switch to the question and answer portion of the webcast. As a reminder, you can type a question into the Q&A box. To access the Q&A box, you may need to select the button with the 3 dots at the bottom of your screen and select the question mark Q&A for it to appear on the side of your screen. Be sure to send your questions to all panelists. Again, depending on your browser, your WebEx screen may look slightly different from this slide. I see a few questions have come in. So, Laura, the first question is, my organization just completed the SOPS Hospital Survey, version 2.0. When will the AHRQ database for HSOPS 2.0 be available?
Thanks, Naomi. That's a really great question. And first, I just want to thank this person for submitting and participating in the database. We really appreciate that. So in the fall 2020, the SOPS Hospital database did accept data from both versions 1.0 and 2.0. And AHRQ is planning to release the database reports for both of those versions in early 2021. Again, please sign up for our listserv so you can be the first to know when that report is posted.
Great, thanks. The second question we have is, can you share how many sites submitted HSOPS 2.0 for 2021 benchmarking?
Ooh, another great question. Thank you. So we're actually in the process of cleaning and analyzing that data right now. So I don't have those numbers for you today. More hospitals did submit data on the HSOPS 1.0 version in 2020, but we did get enough of those submitting to the 2.0 version, so we will still be able to do 2 different database reports and have those available in 2021. There will be a database report on 2.0 and a database report on version 1.0.
Great. And this is a great follow-up question to that. Is the data in the databases available in aggregate to non-participating organizations?
You're right, that is a good one. So yes, the comparative database results that will be posted and publicly available, those will be available to anybody on the AHRQ website. So you can access that and see the aggregate results from those participating hospitals, regardless of if you participated or not.
Okay. Now, the next question is, should I switch to Hospital SOPS 2.0 now or do 1.0 one more year? Okay, so let me talk you through a little bit about this one. The main consideration that you want to think about when switching to 2.0, the Hospital SOPS version 2.0, is how important it might be for your hospital to trend or compare its results with the prior survey administration. The items in Hospital SOPS 2.0 are different than those in Hospital SOPS 1.0, so you cannot directly compare results from 2.0 to 1.0. I did mention earlier on another slide, there's a great resource out there called Transitioning to the SOPS Hospital Survey version 2.0, What's Different and What to Expect. And that document is really good because it outlines 3 different ways that your hospital could switch to 2.0. So you can determine which approach might be best for your hospital. And AHRQ does encourage hospitals to switch to the 2.0 version over the next 18 months or so, so that HSOPS 2.0 can be submitted when the next Hospital SOPS database opens, and that is planned for submission in June 2022. Thanks, Laura. And is there a cost to participate in the databases?
No, the good news is participating in the SOPS databases is free of charge to any of the SOPS databases, and your participating organizations, you will receive a free customized feedback report, as I mentioned earlier, showing your results compared to the latest database results.
All right, thanks. Our next question is, what support or tools are available for the survey without having to hire a third party?
Ooh, okay. So there are many tools available on the SOPS website. And again, that URL, www.arc.gov/SOPS, that can help you with administering one of the SOPS surveys, analyzing your results, and taking action for improvement. So just to kind of highlight what I mentioned a little bit earlier, we've got the survey materials themselves. So the surveys are available in English and in Spanish, and they're available as PDF or Word that you can download. And then you've got the survey user's guide. And again, that's going to be the document that you want to go to right away when you're getting ready to start. It's going to walk you through the whole process of what you should do and how to get started with administering the survey. And then you've got the data entry and analysis tools that you can access just by shooting us the email and requesting that. And that will help you automatically calculate your results and compare them to the latest SOPS database. And again, replay of that webcast will be forthcoming. And then if you submit your data to the database, you'll get that customized feedback report. Also, just recapping a little bit more, we have those data entry or the action planning tools that will help you, and the improvement resource list. So again, you've got your results back. You can look to see where do I want to improve? How can I improve? And then what resources are out there that I could use. But at any time at all, I just also really want to plug, we have free technical assistance, email and telephone that you can reach us, and we're happy to help you however we can with any questions or support.
Great, thank you. All right, our next question is, if a hospital wants to administer more than one supplemental item set, how should that be done? Okay, so for the hospital one, the two available item sets that we have are the health IT and the value and efficiency. And if your hospital wanted to do both of those after the hospital SOPS survey, you would do the health IT first and the value and efficiency, and you would add them at the end of the core hospital SOPS survey. So again, that's just before the background questions. You'll include the whole hospital SOPS survey, and then we would recommend doing health IT first, then value and efficiency, and then you end with just your background questions. Great. All right, so our next question is, to what extent can I modify the survey for our organization's use and still have it be considered a SOPS survey?
Okay, this is a good one. Thank you for asking. The SOPS surveys should be administered in their entirety without modifications or deletions to the core survey items. You want to ensure that your organization's results are going to be comparable with other organizations. You should not change the wording of items or the response options. Do not change the order of the items or change the order of the response options or delete any items. Your facility, again, might want to administer supplemental items, and that's okay to do so, but you have to do those after the core survey. And if you have any custom survey items that your organization wants to add as well. But those really need to be added at the end of the survey, just before the background questions.
Thanks, and we have time for just one more question, Laura. And the last question that we got is, I know there is not a match between 1.0 and 2.0, but is there a crosswalk?
Oh, yes. Thank you for asking that. So in that document I mentioned earlier, it's called Transitioning to SOPS Hospital Version 2.0. There's an appendix with it, and that appendix does show a crosswalk of items that are similar between 1.0 and 2.0. So please check out the appendix to that transitioning document.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Laura. Just for everybody, a brief webcast evaluation will pop up when you close out from today's webcast. We would really appreciate it if you could take a moment to provide us with your feedback, as it helps us to improve our offerings and plan future events. We invite you to visit the AHRQ website, and again, please do not hesitate to contact us at any time via email or phone. Thank you again for joining us today. This concludes today's presentation.